CSGO cases are screwed, here's why.
So, while I've been keeping track of the price of CSGO cases in my This Week on the Skins Market series, you might have noticed something a bit odd. Basically, the price of cases just keep going up, and they don't seem to want to stop. And, you know, logically this probably doesn't seem right. Something can't just keep on going up in price indefinitely forever, at least not faster than the global economy as a whole is growing, and I don't think the global economy is growing at 70% every 3 months. True. So something probably isn't right. Now, generally, when some weird, obscure class of assets skyrockets in price like this, it's generally a sign that speculators are being really stupid and everything is about to end in disaster. But cases are a bit of an exception, and when we have a closer look, you'll quickly spot some cold, hard arithmetic underpinning what's been going on. So basically, once cases stop being normal drops, they get added to this thing called the rare drop pool, which is 1% of all cases dropped. Now, there's currently 28 different cases in the rare drop pool. There's also a few that are just completely discontinued. We'll talk more about them later. And assuming 50 million cases are dropped per month, which is about 2 per active CSGO account out there. So a reasonable working guesstimate for what we're going to do here, that's 500,000 rare drops per month and roughly 18,000 of each of them per case. So 18,000 per month. That's a lot of cases, but how many are being
That's nothing
opened? Well, let's start by looking at the Chroma 2 case. Last month, this degenerate community opened 376,000 of them. So that's an estimated net loss of 358,000 cases. Nice one, guys. But this trend goes back a long way. In fact, since September 2021, we've opened about 6 million of them, which means we're looking at a loss of roughly 5.8 million cases.
Nah.
Sure, there are millions out there that were dropping for a long time, but we're also opening millions of them. Like, that supply is just progressively being demolished, and Chroma 2 cases aren't even that popular these days. For some actual craziness, we just need to take a look at Gamma 2 cases. Now, we opened 712,000 Gamma 2 cases last month, and nearly 14 million since September 2021. That's a net loss of about 13.5 million Gamma cases. I have no idea why this case has become so popular over the last 2 years, although there has been at least 60 million open since it was released, so I don't think the calculations are wrong, but the point is, we are annihilating the supply of these things at breakneck speed, and it's no coincidence that over the past couple of years, its price has gone from basically nothing to about 200 times basically nothing, which at this point is definitely something. And then there's the cases that are discontinued completely. Take the Riptide case.
Shit, I never thought about this. Let's imagine a scenario where there's so many more people opening cases that are being dropped. The case prices would rise until every single case, like the cheapest case is like $2 or something, which would result in many less players opening cases because they can't afford it. Wouldn't Valve at one point do something? Like heighten the drop rates or something? I'm trying to think of like what it would do for the economy if cases are actually becoming, you know, so fucking expensive that only certain people, like, because right now it's getting to that point. More case drops. Does it need to happen? If cases become more expensive, skin prices also become more expensive, right? All the cases would make no sense to open anymore. I don't know.
This thing is currently a bit less than $3 US on the Steam market. It was only available during Operation Riptide, where it got down to about 50 cents, but since then it has just gone up. Up and up and up, despite the fact that the actual unboxing rates have plummeted. And the reason why is pretty simple. We've opened 20 million of them at this point, and we've kind of just run out. And the reason I wanted to show you guys these numbers is just to demonstrate how comprehensively the CSGO player base is currently destroying the supply of cases out there. Unless the game sees some major downturn or Valve increases the supply of cases, and I don't think we'll see either of those happening in the short term, the trend can only really go one way. And we know that given the right circumstances, cases can get pretty expensive. Now, obviously, we're not going to see every case reach $100. Something will change and cool off the market eventually, but for the time being, the supply of cases out there is just being destroyed. And while I don't know when this is going to end, I do know that until it does, we're going to keep on seeing this continued madness.
It means botting as well becomes more and more profitable, right? Like, you already see so many people spinning in your deathmatch game. With case prices rising, there's a bigger incentive as well to do that, right? Monte 50 Bravos right now? Shut up. Right when we talk about Bravos. Na. Montana, schwarz. 88. For real?
Ganz einfach.
Not now. 50 Bravos? He's part of the problem what we're watching right now. That's it?
Thing going on.
Let me see this
so
again.
Basically, once
Where the fuck does he calculate again? Right here. So 18k of each of those.
per
Bro,
case.
ain't no way, man.
So, and rare drop per act the meta, and assuming 50 million cases are dropped going on. So basically, once cases stop being normal drops, they get added to this thing called the rare drop pool, which is 1% of all cases dropped. Now, there's currently 28 different cases in the rare drop pool. There's also a few that are just completely discontinued. We'll talk more about the meta. And assuming 50 million cases are dropped per month, which is about 2 per active CSGO account out there. So a reasonable working guesstimate for what we're going to do here, that's 500,000 rare drops per month and roughly 18.
50 million cases dropped per month. Interesting, bro. I don't know, man. Interesting. I mean, it will be interesting to follow all of that. Like, case prices have been so fucking weird since, like, for 2 years now, I think. Everything was like 3 cents, and then all of a sudden, boom, bro.
Hast du etwas Zeit für mich? Singe ich ein Lied für dich von 99 Luftballons.
Auf ihrem Weg zum Horizont, denn so viel Leid war dann mehr.
Singe ich ein Lied für dich von 99 Luftballons.
Das sowas von